Hello guys, welcome to my channel Cracking IELTS 9.0. Today I'll be discussing the Cambridge 15 Test 1 Reading Passage 3 of the Academic Reading module. As you can see, the heading says, what is exploration? So first we have multiple choice questions, as you can see, from 27 to 32. And then we have matched the information from 33 to 37. Especially this is a list of explorers. We have to match the authors or the name of the explorers. We need to match the names of the explorers, who said what. And then we have the fill-ups in the end. So let's look at them one by one, okay? Let's not waste time and let's jump to the first question. The writer refers to visitors to New York to illustrate the point that. So what's the keyword? Visitors to New York is our keyword, and we have to find for this in the paragraph. So why does the writer refer to New York? Let's dive into the passage now. So in the passage we have it here, right? A visitor negotiate the subways of New York. So I think we have to read this passage to get an overall idea. So let's read from the beginning. We all are explorers. Our desire to discover and then share that newfound knowledge is part of what makes us human indeed. Okay, this has played an important part in our success as a species. Long before the first caveman slumped down beside the fire and grunted news that there were plenty of wildebeest over yonder, our ancestors had learned the value of sending out scouts to investigate the unknown. This questioning nature of questing, this questing nature of ours undoubtedly helped our species spread around the globe, just as it nowadays no doubt helps the last nomadic Penan maintain their existence in the depleted forests of Borneo and a visitor negotiate the subways of New York. Okay guys, I think the answer is in the first and the last sentence if you can observe clearly. So we all are explorers. Our desire to discover and then share that newfound knowledge is part of what makes us human indeed. This has played an important role in the part of success. So this questing nature of ours undoubtedly helped our species spread around the globe, and no doubt helped the last nomadic maintain their existence in the forest and a visitor negotiate on the subways of New York. Okay, let's read the options now. Exploration is an intrinsic element of being human. Intrinsic element of being human. Yes, it can be. This can be an answer. So put it on hold for some time. Okay. Most people are enthusiastic about exploring. No. Exploration can lead to surprising results. No, he didn't talk about any results. Most people find exploration daunting. No, it's not daunting or challenging. Daunting means challenging, right? I think A suits it quite well. Because see the first sentence, our desire to discover and then share that newfound knowledge is part of what makes us human, means this is an intuitive, this is an intrinsic, this is an innate behavior or inbuilt feeling, right? So I think A is the best option because he says is a part of what makes us human. So this is an intrinsic element, right? So intrinsic element of being human, yes. So 27 should be A, right? So let's move to the next question. According to the second paragraph, what is the writer's view of explorers? So let's jump to the second paragraph. Over the years, we have come to think of explorers as a peculiar breed, different from the rest of us, different from those of us who are merely well-traveled even, and perhaps there is a special type of person more suited to seeking out the new, a type of caveman more inclined to risk venturing out. That, however, doesn't take away from the fact that we all have this inquiring instinct even today, and that in all sorts of professions, whether artist, marine biologist, or astronomer, borders of the unknown are being tested each day. Wow, we have some serious implications here, right? Okay, let's look at the options now. Their discoveries have brought both benefits and disadvantages. No, he did not talk about any pros and cons in the passage. Their main value is in teaching others. No, he didn't talk about teaching others. They act on an urge that is common to everyone. This one is interesting. So keep it on hold. This can be the answer. They tend to be more attracted to certain professions than to others. No, they can be attractive to any profession, not certain professions. See, that in all sorts of professions, see, whether this or that, all sorts of professions it can attract. So D cannot be the answer. So the only one left is C. So they act on the urge that is common to everyone. Yes. See, over the years, we have come to think of explorers as a peculiar breed. See, we think of them as some peculiar breed, which are different from the rest of us. But no, that's not the case. Okay. Perhaps there is a type of person more suited to seeking out the new, a type of caveman more inclined to risk venturing out. Yes, they want to venture it out. That, however, doesn't take away from the fact that we all have this. We all have this inquiring instinct even today. So here is the answer. We all have. See, they act on urge that is common to everyone. Common to everyone means we all have it. We all have this inquiring instinct even today. So this is the answer we are looking for. So they act on urge that is common to everyone. C should be the answer, 28. And let's move to the next one then. The writer refers to a description of Egdon Heath to suggest that. So this is our keyword, Heath. Let's find out about that description. So where is this? This is in the third paragraph, right? Thomas Hardy set some of his novels in Egdon Heath, a fictional area of uncultivated land, and used the landscape to suggest the desires and fears of his characters. Desires and fears of his characters. He is delving into matters we all recognize because they are common to humanity. This is surely an act of exploration and into a world as remote as the author chooses. Okay, so I think here should be the answer, because from here he is talking about explorer and travel writer Peter Fleming. Okay, so let's look at the options now. Hardy was writing about his own experience of exploration. Let's read further. Hardy was mistaken about the nature of exploration. No. Hardy's aim was to investigate people's emotional states. Wow, emotional states. Here we got some hint. Yes. This is an uncultivated land, fictional area of uncultivated, unexplored land. And use the landscape to suggest the desires and fears of his characters. Desires and fears means emotional states. Okay, emotions, desires and fears. So his aim was to investigate the people's fears and desires, nothing but the emotional states. So 29, C should be the answer. Okay, so let's move to the 30th one. In the fourth paragraph, the writer refers to a golden age to suggest that. So in the fourth paragraph, let's jump to the golden age now. So this is our fourth paragraph. Let's read it. In this book about the exploration of Earth's surface, I have confined myself to those whose travels were real and who also aimed at more than personal discovery. Okay. But that still left me with another problem. The word explorer has become associated with a past era. We think back to a golden age as if exploration peaked somehow in the 19th century, as if the process of discovery is now on the decline. Though the truth is that we have named only 1.5 million of this planet's species, and there may be more than 10 million. and that's not including bacteria. Wow. We have studied only 5% of the species we know. We have scarcely mapped the ocean floors and know even less about ourselves. We fully understand the workings of only 10% of our brains. Wow. Here is some contradiction, right? So we think back of the golden age as if the explanation is peaked in the 19th century we think back to the golden age as if the exploration peaked in that time and now it is on the decline. No, it's not the truth. The truth is that we have found out only 1.5 million of the 10 million species, and that too not including the bacteria. And only 5% of species we know we have studied, and we don't know what's there in the ocean floors and even less about ourselves. So we fully understand only 10% of the working of the brain. So what does this mean? 30th one. The amount of useful information produced by exploration has decreased. No, this is not the case. Fewer people are interested in exploring than in the 19th century. No. Recent developments have made exploration less exciting. Not at all. We are wrong to think that exploration is no longer necessary. Yes. We think that exploration is no longer necessary, but it is wrong. We are wrong to think that exploration is no longer necessary. Exploration, of course, it is needed now because we have explored only 1.5 million of the 10 million species. So more and more exploration needs to be done, right? So 30th one is D. We are wrong to think that exploration is no longer necessary. So 31st, in the 6th paragraph, when discussing the definition of exploration, the writer argues that. So let's jump to the 6th paragraph. So here is our 6th paragraph. Each definition is slightly different, okay, and tends to reflect the field of endeavor of each pioneer. Tends to reflect the field of endeavor of each pioneer. It was the same whoever I asked. The prominent historian would say exploration was a thing of the past. The cutting-edge scientist would say it was of the present, and so on. They each set their own particular criteria. The common factor in their approach being that they all had, unlike many of us who simply enjoy travel or discovering new things, both a very definite objective from the outset and also a desire to record their findings. Wow. Let's read the options now. People tend to relate exploration to their own professional interests. Own professional interests. Okay. See, look at this. Tend to reflect the field of endeavor of each pioneer. Yes. So historian would say it is thing of the past. Scientist would say it is of the present. So I think yes, 31A is matching. 30th one. So 31A is matching. So keep it on hold. Certain people are likely to misunderstand the nature of exploitation. No. The generally accepted definition has changed over time. No. Historians and scientists have more valid definitions than the general public. No. A is the right answer because historians would say it is of the past, scientists would say it is of the present. So everyone has their, so they have their own meaning according to their professional interests. In the first sentence itself we got the answer, right? They tend to reflect the field of endeavor of each pioneer. So here is our answer. Field of endeavor of each pioneer. So depending upon their field or their professional career, they have their own opinion of the exploration. So in the last paragraph, the writer explains that he is interested in dash. Okay, so let's read the last paragraph and find out his interest. I'd best declare my own bias. As a writer, I am interested in the exploration of ideas. I have done many expeditions and each one was unique. I have lived for months alone with isolated groups of people all around the world, even to uncontacted tribes. But none of these things is of the slightest interest to anyone, unless through my books I have found a new slant, explored a new idea. Why? Because the world has moved on. The time has long passed for the great continental voyages, another walk to the poles, another crossing of the empty quarter. We know how the land surface of our planet lies. Exploration of it now down to the details. The habits of microbes, say, or the grazing behavior of the buffalo. Aside from the deep sea and deep underground, it's the era of specialists. However, this is to disregard the role the human mind has in conveying remote places and is what interests me. So, this is what interests me. How a fresh interpretation, even of a well traveled route, can give its readers new insights. Mhm. So, how a fresh interpretation, even of a well traveled route, means already known route, can give its readers new insights, means new meaning, a fresh direction. Okay, so what does he say? How someone's personality is reflected in their choice of places to visit? No, this is not the right answer. The human ability to cast new light on places that may be familiar. Yes, B should be the right answer. Because what does he say here? The last sentence, guys. How a fresh interpretation, even of a well traveled route, means familiar route, can give its reader new insights, means new light. So, the human ability to cast new light, new insights on places that may be familiar, well traveled route. Okay, so B should be the right answer. How travel writing has evolved to meet challenging demands? No. The feelings that writers develop about the past that they explore? No, it's not about the feelings. It's about the human ability to cast new insights, right? So 32 is B. Let's move to the next set of questions. In the matching, I want to tell you a small trick here. Okay, can you see this instruction? You may use any letter more than once. Once this appears, some letter will appear more than once. It can be A or B, C, D, E, anything. But surely, for sure, some letter will appear more than once. That is twice at least. Any one letter will repeat. So this is a hint for you. If you are not getting the right answers, once you have this hint, it means that some letter will repeat more than once. Okay, so here we have some statements and some others' names. We need to match these two. Who said what? Okay, list of explorers and what they did or what they said. So till now we have read about Peter Fleming in one of the passages, right? So let's read that and let's come back to the other readers. Okay, when we were in the third paragraph, yes, we came across this guy, Peter Fleming, right? So let's read this. So Peter Fleming talks of the moment when the explorer returns to the existence he has left behind with his loved ones. The traveler who has for weeks or months seen himself only as a puny and irrelevant alien crawling laboriously over a country in which he has no roots and no background suddenly encounters his other self, a relatively solid figure with a place in the minds of certain people. Wow. So he's talking about someone who has returned to his loved ones or the existence after being out for weeks and months. Puny. Puny means a very weak person, a very small person. So let's read about this guy, Peter Fleming. He referred to the relevance of form of transport used. No, he did not talk about any form of transport. He describes feelings on coming back home after a long journey. Yes, coming back home after months and weeks after a long journey. So yes, 34 is matching what Peter said. So 34 should be A. Yes. See here, guys, he says talks of when an explorer returns to the existence he has left behind with his loved ones. So he came back home. Who has for weeks and months seen himself as a puny and irrelevant alien crawling over a country. So he was out for months together and he came back to his home. That's what he said. So 34 should be A. So next explorer, Ran Finnis. Let's read about him. See the name here, Ran. Here is how some of the today's explorers define the word. Ran, dubbed the greatest living explorer, said, an explorer is someone who has done something that no human has done before and also done something scientifically useful. Wow, this is the only sentence he said. What did he do? Explorer is someone who has done something no human has done before and something scientifically useful. Okay, let's read this. He worked for the benefit of specific groups of people? No. He did not consider learning about oneself an essential part of exploration? No, nothing mentioned about that. He defined exploration as being both unique and of value to others. Wow. Yes, being unique and value to others. See, this is matching, right? Being unique means no human has done before. This is uniqueness. And also done something scientifically useful means value to others, right? So both being unique and of value to others. Unique means no human has done before. Value to others means scientifically useful, right? So 37 should be Ran. B. 37 should be B. Okay. Okay. So we are getting the answers one by one. Next, who is the explorer? Chris Bonington. So let's read about Chris. Mr. Chris. Okay. Chris Bonington, a leading mountaineer, felt exploration must be found in the act of physically touching the unknown. You have to have gone somewhere new. So that's what Chris said. So he talked about physically touching the unknown and going somewhere new. So let's read this. He referred to relevance of the form of transport. No, there is no form of transport. He worked for a specific groups of people. No. He did not consider learning about oneself an essential part of exploration. No. So C may not be the right answer. Let's read further. Then Robin, a campaigner on behalf of remote so-called tribal peoples. Wow. So so-called tribal peoples. A traveler simply records information about some far-off world and reports back, but the explorer changes the world. So this is what Robin has said from here to here. Okay, what does he say? He is a campaigner on behalf of remote so-called tribal people. So he is representing tribal people. What does that mean? He worked for the benefit of specific groups of people. Specific groups means tribal people. So Mr. Robin should be the answer for 35, right? So 35 should be D, Mr. Robin. Okay. Next, let's read further. Last one, Wilfred. So where is this guy? He is also here. Wilfred, who crossed Arabia's empty quarter in 1946 and belongs to an era of unmechanized travel, now lost to the rest of us, told me if I had crossed by camel, okay, when I could have gone by car, it would have been a stunt. To him, exploration meant bringing back information from a remote place regardless of any great self-discovery. Wow, I think we got the answer. Read the 33 first. He referred to the relevance of the form of transport used. Form of transport means here he is mentioned about camel and a car, right? If I had gone across by a camel, when I could have gone by a car, it would have been a stunt, he says. So he referred to the relevance of the form of transport. So it is E. 33 is E. Again, he did not consider learning about oneself an essential part of exploration. So, self-discovery. See here. Exploration meant bringing back information from remote place regardless of any great self-discovery. So there is nothing related to self-discovery, right? just bringing back the information is what he wanted. So he did not consider learning about oneself an essential part of exploration, right? E. So see here guys, E has repeated twice, right? So this instruction, you may use any letter more than once, is justified now. So when this type of instruction is given, then 100% any one of the letter will repeat. In this case, E has repeated twice. I hope I can understand guys. So this is a great hint for you. When this hint comes, some option will repeat twice. So be careful, okay? Let's move to the next set of questions. This is the fill in the blanks, okay? What's the instruction? No more than 2 words. So you are allowed to write up to 2 words. The writer's own bias then. The writer has experience of a large number of dash and was the first stranger that certain previously dash people had encountered. So the writer has experience of a large number of something. What is that? So this is his own bias, right? I'd best declare my own bias. As a writer, I am interested in the exploration of ideas. I have done a great many expeditions and each one was unique. Great many expeditions means number of, a large number of. So he went for a large number of expeditions. This is our answer. Right, so these are first answer. And was the first stranger that certain previously dash people had encountered. I have lived for months alone. Alone means stranger, with isolated groups of people all around the world, even to uncontacted tribes. So isolated people. He was a stranger. He lived for months alone with isolated groups of people. So isolated can be the answer, okay? So isolated groups of people can be the answer, or even we can also write even to uncontacted tribes. Uncontacted tribes. Yes, we can also write uncontacted people. Uncontacted is also the right answer. Anything is the right answer. Okay? Uncontacted or isolated can be the right answer. He believes that there is no need for further exploration of Earth's dash except to answer specific questions such as how buffalo eat. Okay. So here is something about the buffaloes, right? Okay. Another walk to the poles, another crossing of the empty quarter. We know how the land surface of our planet lies. Okay. So here, we know how the land surface of our planet lies. Exploration of it now down to the details. The habits of microbes, say, or the grazing behavior of a buffalo. We know how the land surface of our planet. Our planet means Earth. So land surface of Earth. So the land surface of Earth. Earth's land surface we can write. He believes that there is no need for further exploration of Earth's land surface except to answer specific questions like how buffalo eat. Okay guys, so these are the right answers. I hope you have followed my strategy, and I hope you imbibe my strategies, tips and tricks into your reading. If you can follow my strategies guys, I am sure that you can score more than 8 bands in the reading module. Please let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts or if any suggestions about my teaching method. So thank you for watching this video. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. This video is extremely helpful for IELTS aspirants. So that is the end of passage 3 guys. I'll meet you again in some other video with a new module. So until next time, goodbye, have a great day.